All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode Podcast weekly leveling up episode, where every single week I come to you with different tips, tactics, and strategies to help you continue to level up in your own personal success journeys. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of leadership when it comes to building your overall real estate business. So when it comes to leadership is something that's really important for all of us, regardless of what level that you're at. Now, for today's leveling up topic, when I'm speaking to leadership, I'm going to give more specific examples for those of you that are team leaders or brokerage owners or aspiring team leaders. But just understand that maybe you're an agent on a team, or maybe you're an agent, an individual agent, and you don't have any aspiration of creating a team, whatever. I mean, all of these things still apply to all of us. Because with leadership, I mean, we've got to have the ability to go out there and lead ourselves. We got to have the ability to go out there and lead our vendor partners, lead our clients, lead our family members. Leadership is something that, look, we're all leaders. Regardless whether you have a real estate company or not, we are all leaders. So all of these things are going to apply to all of us. But again, I'm going to give more specific examples for team leaders and for brokerage owners in this leveling up tip today. All right, so a question I get quite often from team leaders and broker owners, from coaching clients and whatnot, are, hey Josh, how do I go out there and recruit top producing agents? I want top producing agents, to be able to come, and join my team, join my brokerage. And my response is always the same. I always answer that question with another question, and I always answer with, what are you doing to go out there and become a leader that they're willing to go out there and follow? We gotta be honest and do an honest assessment with ourselves. Right? So when I look at that for my own business, within my own real estate company, man, I want the best brokerage owners. I want the best team leaders. I want to partner with the best, whether it be, with my nationwide brokerage platform, whether it be with my own local team, whatever it may be. I want the best of the best. So a question I'm always asking myself is, what am I doing to become the best leader, where then those that are the best are willing, are they willing to follow me? And a question that I recommend that you ask yourself is, okay, look, if you were a top producer yourself, or before you started, but in order to become a top team leader or top brokerage owner, at one point, whether you're still in production or not in production, you were a top producing agent. So the question then becomes, would you follow you? Would you follow yourself? Because the reality of the situation is this, is nobody will ever follow anybody they deem to be weaker than themselves in that area of their life that they're seeking guidance, seeking help, seeking mentorship from. So if you want top producers, you got to be stronger. You got to lead yourself to being stronger. And we're going to go deeper into leadership, because I know that leadership is something that gets talked about a lot, but there's a lot of confusion around it. So we're going to get very specific in this leveling up episode of really the two primary buckets that I put leadership into, and what that means, and more importantly, how to go out there and start focusing on this so you can become a very strong leader yourself. So, again, if we understand that nobody will follow anybody that they deem to be weaker than themselves, you must be better. You must be stronger. You must be able to transfer knowledge, transfer inspiration, transfer, those skill sets and whatnot that those that are choosing to follow you, if you will, if you want to look at it from a leader to a follower standpoint. Look, and I don't look at it that, my brokerage owner partners or my team leader partners or my agent partners are necessarily following me. I just know that they're not going to partner with me. They're not going to join me, if I am weaker than them. Just like you would go out there and get a business partner that's far inferior to your skill sets and to your capabilities, why the hell would you partner with them? Right? So just thinking of it from that aspect. Okay, so now we're going to jump into, again, these two primary buckets, because I know that there's a lot of confusion around leadership. What is leadership? How do I go out there and acquire and become a better leader so I can lead my staff, lead my agents, lead myself to going out there and getting better results? Because again, this is all that this is, man. We got to have the ability to lead ourselves. We have to have the ability to lead our staff. We have to have the ability to lead our agents, to lead our business partners, lead whomever that is choosing to partner or follow you. you have to be able to go out there and lead them. Now, it's first understanding, before we get into the two primary buckets here, first thing I want you to understand is that leadership is an internal process. It is not an external process. Leadership isn't about looking cool or sounding cool. It's not about, oh, like how great is this meeting? How great is this presentation? It's nothing external. Leadership is 100% an internal process, right? When it comes to developing you as a great leader yourself and turning your people into great leaders as well is okay. Again, understand it's an internal process. So keep that in mind as we break down these two primary buckets here. Okay, so the two primary buckets are this. We got leadership through knowledge and skill sets. And then we got leadership by leading through example. And both of these two things come together. Because leading by example, right? Look, dude, if you don't become the person that you need to become to make your goals a reality, they will never manifest into reality. And on the secondary component of that, if people don't respect you, if you're not, if they don't find inspiration through you, if they don't respect you, they're not going to listen to you. So an example of this, let's just say I want to get in good shape. And I go to somebody and I, looking to potentially hire this person, or maybe I hire them, I choose, I'm looking for a mentor, quote unquote, to help me with my health and fitness. And I go in, I meet with them, and they're this fat slob, out of shape, like I used to be, right? They're myself, 20 years ago. Okay, I'm probably not going to listen to them because I don't respect, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, I don't respect their own personal choices, their own personal beliefs in the information that they're giving me, right? So I'm probably not going to listen to them. If we don't respect somebody, we won't listen to them. Okay, so, and I'll circle back to that one here. Now, let's first begin with talking about bucket number one, which is knowledge and skill sets. So when it comes to your leadership with knowledge and skill sets, and remember, as I said just a moment ago, leadership is an internal process, never an external process. This is where it comes down to you making sure that you are developing the knowledge and the skill sets that you must always be developing to take your business to the next level. And specifically as a team leader and as a brokerage owner, there's really two components of knowledge and skill sets that you need to be acquiring, right? And a mistake that a lot of team leaders and a lot of brokerage owners make is they think that all of a sudden, because their quote unquote title is different, that they no longer, and this is more of a mistake that those that are out of production end up making. That, full-time team leaders, full-time brokerage owners, they have this thought process of, oh man, I'm not in production anymore, so these things don't apply to me. I don't need to learn this stuff. I don't need to learn these skill sets. And in my opinion, that is a very lazy team leader or brokerage owner, and that's just absolute and utter bullshit in my humble opinion. And what I mean by this is, look, dude, I haven't personally sold a house in over 10 years. Right. And so if you look at my real estate team here in Phoenix, Arizona, I have not been involved with a personal transaction with the buyer or seller in over 10 years. I'm a full-time team leader, full-time CEO. My job is to make sure that my agents have all the, skill sets, knowledge, systems, support, training, and opportunities to go out there and be successful and help our clients and past clients and all of that with that. Well, even though I haven't personally sold a house, if I'm not always staying on top of knowledge and skill sets to help them be successful, like meaning, like this market's turned very sharply in the last 18 months. We are now experiencing a real estate market that we've never experienced, any of us. Any of you on here right now, any of you watching, any of you listening, we've never experienced a market like this. We've got, historically, usually the number of agents versus the number of active listings on the market. The number of active listings is usually between 2 and 3x greater than the number of active licensees. Right now, that's inverted, and you've got almost double the amount of agents as you do active listings. So we've had transaction volume, listing volume, transaction volume just fall off a cliff in the last 18 months. And then you combine that with, we have the most unaffordable time to ever buy real estate, the most expensive real estate's ever been, the most unaffordable time to go out there and acquire real estate in the United States recorded history, and the most unaffordable time to be alive as a U.S. citizen in recorded history. So we look at all those three things, right? So we've, because of the unaffordability, you've wiped out about half of the marketplace. Depending on the market, it could be 30, 40%, could be up to 50% or even greater. But let's just say roughly we've wiped out, 40 to 50% of the general consumer from being able to transact in real estate right now. And then you put on top of that, the most competitive environment, you got 1.6 million realtors going out there and competing with a hell of a lot less listings and a hell of a lot less total overall acquisitions. So it's created this environment that none of us have ever seen before. None of us have seen this, right? So then from there, okay, well, just because I'm not involved in the buying and selling process, I got to make sure my agents know exactly what to do. So I spend a lot of my time making sure I understand the market. I understand the best strategies. I understand inside and out where the pains are, where the pleasures are, the best overall strategies. Even though I'm not going out there and personally deploying, I'm not personally following up with these leads. I'm not personally, whatever it may be. I need to make sure that my agents are freaking ninjas at this shit. So I spend an abundance of my time going out there and developing this knowledge and developing the skill sets so I can go out there and guide my agents. Why are agents joining your team or joining your brokerage? They're joining you only for one reason, right? And that's to get them from where they're at to where they want to go. Meaning, okay, you got to help them make sure and ensure that they are successful at making their real estate goals a reality. And he or she that does that at the highest level is going to win with the agent recruiting and agent retention game. So that's, skill set and knowledge number one. Portion number one, and when it comes to leadership, is making sure that you're doing everything that you can. And when I say doing everything that you can, this doesn't mean that you personally have to do it, but somebody within your leadership team does. So if it's not you, and maybe you've got your organization so damn big now, we've got 1,000 agents or whatever, where, okay, now you have a leadership team internally. Okay, somebody within your team, somebody within your leadership team must be gaining and acquiring these skill sets so it can be transferred to your agents. Because so much of leadership is transference, right? One of the reasons why, and I get again asked this all the time of like, how do I go out there and get, top producers like you, Josh? How do I go out there and, get these partnerships like you, with that is like, look, one of the things that I do, and I'm always focusing on is making sure I'm doing everything I possibly can to make sure my agents or my team leaders or my brokerage owners don't outgrow me. Now, they may outgrow me. I can't necessarily control that, but I'm not going to allow myself to be stagnant with this. I'm going to do everything in my power to always go out there and make sure I'm acquiring new skills, new knowledge, and so forth, so then I can always transfer that level of skills and that level of knowledge to them. Yeah, right? So it's a transference of knowledge with that skill sets, right? The more skills and knowledge I have, the more I'm able to transfer those skills and knowledge to my agents, as well as to my staff, as well as to my leadership team, as well as to anybody inside of our ecosystem, right? So we've got the agent aspect of that. Then when it comes to skills and knowledge, you need to acquire the skills and knowledge that allow you to run operations and just overall grow inside your brokerage. Okay, maybe I'm not, having to, let my agents, like within my team, I'm not having to teach them how to go out there and hire staff. I'm not having to teach them how to go out there and do certain things that I do on the team lead side. So I've got to make sure I and those that are within my leadership team have those skill sets on how to go out there and hire amazing, staff, whether it be from a janitor to a CEO, all of those types of skill sets. So thinking of skill sets also of what are the skill sets that I must acquire? What is the knowledge that I must acquire to go out there and be a great operator, to grow the brokerage side, as well as to allow my agents to go out there and grow and succeed. So a question that you should always be asking yourself is what are the skill and or skills and or knowledge. So what is this, the skill and or knowledge or skills and or knowledge that I must acquire in order to get my agents producing, my agents growing their business, as well as my overall brokerage growth business. So you should always be identifying what is that next skill set that I need to go out there and learn and master to take my business to the next level. So another way of framing this, another way of looking at this is this skill set acquisition, right? What is the skill set I must acquire? And just think of this as when you were a new agent. I was like, okay, skill set number one that you probably had to acquire was how to go out there and lead generate and lead follow-up, right? So how do I lead gen, lead follow-up so I can set appointments? Okay, skill set two, and I had to learn, we all had to learn these very quickly. How do I, then next skill set was how do I go out there and present buyer consultations and listing presentations to be able to convert them? How do I write offers? I mean, each one of those was a different skill set that you had to acquire to have the proficiency to go out there and do your job, right? Well, eventually, if we become stagnant with our skill set acquisition, then from there, you're going to become stagnant in your business, right? So if your business is stifling in growth, one of the main reasons for that, or one of the top reasons that usually leads to that, is you have become stagnant in acquiring the new skill sets that you need to do to get your business to that next level. Maybe the next skill sets that you need to acquire is to how to go out there and master systems and processes so you can go out there and scale. Maybe you need to master the skill set of delegating to a leadership team so you can go from 100 agents to 1,000 agents, whatever that may be, right? So always be thinking, asking yourself that question of what are the skills and what is the knowledge I must acquire to take my business and my agent's business to the next level. Okay, so bucket number 1 of leadership is skill sets and knowledge, aka skill set acquisition. Okay, bucket number 2 is leading by example. So, again, the reality of the situation is, and I think we all get this and this all makes sense, once I say this here, is a leadership style that always fails is do what I do, or do what I say, not as I do. And we see this, just an easy way to think of this is parenting, right? Like kids don't do what we say, they do what we do, they mimic, right? So with that being said, the same thing is going to happen internally inside your organization, right? So it's not about do as I say, it's about do as I do. And you need to lead by example. We talked about this earlier. If people do not respect you, like you might have all these core values. Maybe you have a core value of inside your organization of being kind. But if you are a complete freaking asshole, that's always belittling your people, that is just some meaningless message that you have on your damn wall. And this is what most people do. They go out there and, I got all these core values. We got this mission statement. That's just a bunch of bullshit on the wall that is meaningless, that nobody's going to listen to. Nobody's going to care about. Why? Because you don't care about them. They're meaningless to you. The culture of any organization is just an extension of the values that the leader, that the CEO, that the leader exudes. That's all that culture is, right? Is just like, when it comes to culture, I know core values and culture and the importance of culture gets thrown around, tossed around so much, and it is extremely important inside of an organization. But this is how it begins, right? So now instead of me just talking about what this stuff is, let's talk about how to go out there and do this. So here's what I recommend. I recommend that you get out a blank piece of paper, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to write out 30 to 40 core values that are important to you. So just write all these out. And maybe, like I've had to do this where I just go to Google, business core values or top core values, and just get a large list, and any one that resonates with you, any that hits home with you, whatever, anything that you're like, oh yeah, man, that's all. Like, if I could build, a small army of people inside my organization that had these values, that had these core values, if we had everybody rowing in the boat, rowing in the same direction at the same speed with these core values, man, we'd create something special. Right now, when we talk about core values that are important to you, do not, and these are my recommendations. So when I say do not, do what you will, but my recommendation to you is to do not separate business and personal life. Great leaders they show up as the same person in all aspects of life. Right? Like you can't show up, or I don't recommend that you show up, at least with my own personal experience and my experience of great leaders out there, is they don't show up in their personal life as a totally different human being than they do in their business life. This is all just life. So what are the core values? What are the most important traits that matter to you most, right? That matter to you as a human being, whether it's business or personal. So thinking of it from that framework. All right, so we're just going to go out there and make a list. And again, your beginning list, have 30 to 40 of these. It doesn't have to be 30 to 40, and we're not going to stay there. We're going to whittle this list down. Okay, so then step number 2, here's what I want you to do. After you got that list of 30 to 40, whatever that number is, even if it's 20 or even if it's 15, just whatever, just get that list together. Next step. Then from there, I want you to shut your eyes and I want you to visualize, your dream business. If you could snap your fingers right now and have your dream business built, and maybe it takes you 5, 10, 15 years to go out there and build it, but if you could snap your fingers and have that dream business built right now, what would that business look like? How many agents would you have? How many deals would you be doing? How much money would you be making on a monthly, annual basis? Like just visualize that and write that out, put that out on a piece of paper. Then from there, what I want you to ask yourself is what type of a leader must I become in order to make that a reality? What are those traits? What are those behaviors that the leader I must become operates by in order to make those dreams that I have a reality. Right? So and this becomes extremely important. So much of success is not a doing plan. Yes, we got to do. Yes, we got to take action. But more of success is much more of a becoming plan than a doing plan. We must first become the people that are capable of making our goals a reality before our goals will actually manifest into reality. I'm not one that's going to sit here and say, oh, just visualize and manifest and your goals will become a reality. No, that element is important, but it's got to be backed by massive action. But we need to identify whom we must become. So what are those core values? What are those traits? What are those behaviors? So as an example, you might be like, okay, in order for me to create what I want to create, the person that's capable of pulling this off, they would be a person that's extremely disciplined. They would be they'd be into personal growth and personal development. They would be humble. Right? They would be strong. They would be, have grit, have resilience. They would be resourceful. Just make a list of all of those things. Then from there, what I want you to do is I want you to take those and also combine those to your core value list of your other 10, 20, 30 things, 40 things that we already talked about. So we're going to add all of those things into this list. Then from there, I want you to look at that list and I want you to whittle it down to like the top 5, 10-ish, somewhere between 5, 10, 12 max, core values that are most important to you. When we're looking at these core values, again, this is thinking of like, who must you become? And what are those core values that your leadership team and that those that you deploy inside your organization or employ and those that you hire inside your organization, those that you want to surround yourself with agents and so forth inside your organization. Man, if we had an army of everybody inside of our organization that operated by these core values, there's no way we could lose. There's no way my vision, my mission, my goals would not become a reality. So, and again, it can be whatever, it can be, whether it's humble, it could be intelligent, it could be disciplined, it could be focused, it could be, you just got a list of all these, these words that are these values to you that are really important, to you in order to make your goals a reality. Okay. So then from there, now your job as the leader of the organization, because I said earlier, leadership is internal, never external. So your job isn't to go out there and just tell everybody start being these things. Your job, your primary job is to become a level 10 at all of these things. So if you're like, okay, well, hey, I need to have an organization built with a bunch of disciplined people. Okay, your job is to be then the most disciplined person you possibly can be and the most disciplined person inside your organization. You need to become a level freaking 10 at those things. Right. So for me, I have, within my core values, one of those is I have a no asshole rule, and I could maybe frame that better. I just, I'm not fancy with words. So we have a very strict no asshole policy. I cannot stand people that are jerks, people that belittle others, people that tear others down. I can't freaking stand it. I don't want anybody inside my organization to operate that way. Okay, so then from there, we gotta, it doesn't mean that we can't give constructive criticism, but I can do that in a very tactful way that my people know that I'm coming from the right place with doing that. Again, no belittling, none of that. I cannot stand it. So I gotta make sure then, if I want everybody in my organization treating others kind, others with respect, uplifting and not tearing down others. Okay, I've got to exude that at a higher level than anybody else in my organization, or do everything in my power to exude that at a higher level than anybody else in my organization. So like, dude, no matter what's going on in the outside world, I might be having the worst day, whatever. Like I come in here, man, I understand because I've got my core values. I know what they are. I know what's most important. I know as a leader what I must exude. Okay, when I come in here, boom, that hat is on and I'm making sure to wear that. Again, I mean, for me, discipline is really important. Self-development, growth, and expansion, really important. So I make sure that I'm at a level 10 of all of those things. So then that way I inspire other people that have those same core values. Now, all my agents that I recruit may not have all those same core values because they're independent contractors. There's a few of them that to me are non-negotiables. But here's the thing is, and they might have some of their own core values, and that's okay. That's a good thing, right? Like not everybody has to share my own core values with me. Now my staff, and especially my leadership team, they have to share those same core values. right? When it comes to business, like even in personal life, like I want my staff and especially my leadership team that they're a core value fit 100%. But then I have some non-negotiable core values that even my agents have to operate by. Like I don't care if they're closing 500 deals a year. If they're a freaking prick, if they're a freaking asshole, if they're tearing down others and belittling others, like peace out. Right? Like I don't care how many deals that they do, I'm just not going to tolerate that inside my organization, right? So, those are, you have your non-negotiables and whatnot. But where I'm going with this and what I just stated earlier is our focus, because leadership is internal, never external. Our job then is to always become or do everything that we can in our power to become a level number 10 at those things that are most important to us. A lot of managers, here's the difference between a manager and a leader. A lot of managers think that my job is to lead the horse to water, but I can't force that horse to drink, right? So that's a manager's thought process. We hear managers say that all the time. Oh, my job's to show them the way, but I can't control them doing the work. Where a true leader understands that, hey, man, yeah, I can lead that horse to water, but I can't force it to drink. So my primary job before I lead that horse to the water is to make that horse damn thirsty. If I make that horse thirsty, that horse will be begging me to lead them to the water. And then once we get to the water, they're going to drink the shit out of the water. So my job as a leader is to make my people thirsty. What do I mean by that? I'm going to lead through inspiration. I'm going to inspire them through my leadership style. And how do I inspire them through my leadership style? By being at a level 10 of those core values that are most important. That's going to attract those right people to you. That's going to get those top producers and those other people to choose to follow you because you exude strength that they don't. And that's going to inspire them to be around you, right? Okay, so then the last step of this then is to then create your becoming plan to get to a level 10 of each of those core values. So a becoming plan, so many have business plans, but very few have becoming plans. And I said a moment ago, you don't make your goals a reality by just taking action, right? You make your goals a reality by first becoming the person that's capable of making those goals a reality, and you back that with action, right? But you got to acquire the skill sets, and you need to become that person first that is capable of making your goals a reality. Then boom, eventually your goals manifest into a reality. So then from there, I want you to ask yourself, okay, like what are the habits? What are the rituals? What are the behaviors that I must adopt in order to become the person I must become? In order to become a level 10 at each of those values that matter most to me, where if we have these core values, if I as a leader am operating at a level 10 of all these core values, and then I get my people operating at a high level of these core values, like again, it's going to be an impossibility to lose when it comes to your business goals, right? This is what we're talking about. And this is when I'm going to talk about culture and leadership. This is what at least what I mean here. To me, I'm not into all this fancy crap and reading these books and these 21 points. And to me, it's like two things: skill set acquisition, and then leading by example through becoming, right? A level 10 of these core values that matter most to you. And again, core values are what are the list of traits that, man, if I build a small army of amazing human beings and we operate by these, and me as the leader, I'm always operating by a level 10 with these. I get my people operating at a level 10 with these. We cannot fail. We will go out there and crush it, and we cannot fail. So then from there, again, when it comes to this becoming plan, again, what are the habits you must adopt? What are the rituals? What are the behaviors? But then also from there, what are the habits you must break? Okay, hey man, maybe it's like, okay, a person that is making these goals a reality, man, maybe what time do they wake up? What do they do? Right? Like, do they sit there and binge Netflix? Do they waste time? Or do they procrastinate? Or do they get shit done? So I got to become somebody that does not procrastinate. Okay, well, then create a becoming plan to procrastinate less and become somebody that takes action and operates with urgency. Okay, I got to be somebody that gets up, I got to become a morning person. Okay, whatever it is, it's going to be different for all of us, right? We all have different, goals and aspirations. But here's the thing: I know concisely what my becoming plans always are. Right? And every single year I redo this, and I'm always reassessing these, and I'm always looking at, what do I need? What behaviors must I add? What habits must I add? What behaviors and habits must I drop? Like I know to make my goals a reality, I can't be somebody that, needs consistent entertainment to enjoy life. Right? So many people in life now, entertainment's become like their God, right? Okay, I gotta be somebody that's willing to waste 2 or 3 hours a night watching some stupid fucking game where other people are making their goals a reality, and I'm choosing to be a spectator. And I'm not trying to demonize anybody that does that, right? I just know for me to make my goals a reality, I can't be that kind of a person. I can't be a spectator. I got to be the person that jumps on the field and plays ball in the way that I'm trying to play ball in the game I'm playing in my life, right? Okay, man, I've got to have great energy. I got to have an abundance of energy. I got to have an abundance of mental focus. I have to have I got to be somebody that takes massive action and takes massive action with a level of urgency. I got to be somebody that's very decisive. So then in order to become decisive, how do I become decisive? I got to have extreme clarity on what I want, why I want it, why it's important to me. So then when anything comes up, it's a very quick hell yes, it aligns with what I want, or it's a hell no, it doesn't. Like I've got to be, like I got to be bold. I got to be, I got to be somebody that's willing to have those very difficult, hard conversations. Like all of these things, you just, okay, hey, now then I can start having, not just executing on my business plan, but at the same time, simultaneously, I'm also becoming that person that I must become to operate at a level 10 of my core values. So these are the two different buckets of leadership and just kind of my 2 cents, my tips, my recommendations on becoming a better, stronger leader. Because when it comes down to creating the success that you want to create, it's all about being able to lead yourself and eventually lead your people to victory of making those goals a reality. All right, I hope that you found this helpful. Make sure that you check out gsdmode.com, gsdmode.com for more additional free resources, more additional free trainings. Also on there, if you are interested in my personal coaching program, my mentorship personal coaching program, where you are able to be coached by me personally to help you grow and expand your business, regardless of what level that you're at, whether an individual agent, team leader, broker owner, and you want to go out there and make sure that you've got all the right information, have all that right support, all those right systems, all those right processes, all those right strategies. Check out gsdmode.com. Click on that coaching tab. You can schedule 100% zero pressure discovery call with me personally. That call is going to be with me. Talk to you about what the coaching program is, what it entails, how it works, how you have daily access to me. You get access to every single thing inside my business, nothing left out, just given to you. Plus you have daily access to me through every element of that experience to make sure you cannot fail, make sure that you succeed at the highest level in the quickest amount of time. And I've also made it where it's the most, not just effective, hands down the most effective, but also the most affordable. It's like less than your daily Starbucks budget. Yeah, right. So if you're interested in that, go check out gsdmode.com and click that coaching tab. Otherwise, truly appreciate you guys. Keep crushing it, and we will see you next time. Peace.